It's great. Your sound is just so full, so congrats to you. It sounds great. What I love so much is that every single one of you is singing with a full voice. You know, no one's holding back, and it's great. Now, you can imagine there are moments where you probably want to pull back a little more, especially the background vocals. It's easy to just kind of get into it and be like, we're all in. But you want to be all in tastefully, right? And there's a couple ways to do that. You actually can, this is something we don't say very often, but you can pull away from the mic slightly if you like the tone that you're using and you don't want to compromise it. So if you're like a background vocal and it's kind of high in your voice and you want to use some of that belt, just pull back a little bit and that might solve that problem. If it's a spot where you might sing softer, just sing softer, you know, use like the vocal mechanism, more air, warmth, etc. Okay, so that's like a general note, but I love the energy. I wrote on the second one, great dynamics. I love how that one pulled way down and then got way big. It was really good. So compelling. This is incredible. 7 of you. Sound like 20 of you. Good for you. Okay, let's take that second song. And I wrote, and I'm not sure what this means, but hopefully you do. I wrote before doesn't begin section. Careful on those chords leading into it. The part that goes doesn't begin, doesn't begin. I'm getting some nods. Does that make sense what I'm talking about? Okay. So do you want to pick a spot going into that that would make sense? Yeah, cool. Go for it.
I'll do 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, someday, if I don't stand out one bit, oh, someday, I may be normal enough to fit in. Jeez, help me, please, but be out of my way. Am I a mess? Yes, 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 totally insane. If I am not, am I miss? Am I don't exist? That's the greatest sin. I'd rather be gone, 'cause life just doesn't begin. Just doesn't begin. Doesn't begin. Doesn't begin. Doesn't begin. Doesn't begin. Doesn't begin.
Wow, I just love, I'm just having fun here because you sound so good. I love the trios. Yeah, your voices blend so well. Here's a rule of thumb. All background vocals only get 1 vowel per chord. Because any diphthongs in the background vocals really distract from the solos. Does that make sense? Or like the melody. So if I'm singing on the background vocal and going do, do, whoa, and I'm doing sliding and there's changes in the vowel, all of that the ear picks up out there and it takes away from the melody. Does that make sense? So if you're singing any chords, you always want to just commit to 1 vowel, 1 note, right? And then you shift to the next vowel, next note, right? So I heard some in here when we're doing some of the O's and do's and all that, some of them are migrating. Do, do, do. There's kind of like a sound in there and you just want 1 sound. Do, 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 do. Does that make sense? And that's going to sound like a better foundation for what they're doing. Okay, great, but honestly, overall, it's so good. So I'm going to move on. At the very end, I know these are not risers, so it's kind of anticlimactic, right? You're like, it's like we will rock you, but on cement. So you have to, obviously, if you had risers, it would really crackle and pop, right? But there's not much you can do about that. So, because I don't want you to hurt your feet. And now I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, it doesn't really do anything. Okay, good. Let's go to the song before. So the first song. And I'll just tell you what I wrote. So the background vocals could be quieter in general. I think they're just too loud. This is good for me because I actually don't know some of these songs that well. So I don't know where the melody is. And so I'm the perfect candidate for you convincing me which one's the melody. Does that make sense? So you have to convince me where the melody is by pulling back on all the other vocals. Okay? Let's do it from the first song. Just start it off.
Please, 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 don't prove I'm right. Oh, please, 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 don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice.
Nice. Okay, one thing I'm noticing though is you are nice and close to the mic and you're pulled back a little bit. Do you have the melody or do you have it or do you all have it?
I think that you have it.
You have the melody, and you guys are on harmonies there. Okay, so great. I think I can hear you pretty strong, and you sound great. I could use more of you. Otherwise, the trio doesn't sound balanced. Yeah, okay, so try that again. And think, for this style, I'd put you about 3 fingers away, because you're doing a lot of belty, kind of chesty stuff. So yeah, maybe even 4, but no more than that. I would never pull back here. Okay, here we go from the top.
1, 2, 3, 4. Please, 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 don't prove I'm right. Oh, please, 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 don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice. I know I have good judgment, I know I have good taste. It's funny and it's ironic that only I feel that way. I promise them that you're different, and everyone makes mistakes, but just don't. I know that you're an actor, so act like a stand-up guy. Whatever devil's inside you, don't let him out tonight. I tell them
Yeah, so for me, and I think part of it is because the solo is kind of low in your voice, right? Like you're not really belting super high, so I would pull all of these back a little bit, like 20%. If you really like the tone you're using, again, you can pull back maybe like an inch, or you can just kind of quiet down the voice a little. Because as I'm standing over here, I'm just kind of losing your voice, and I'm realizing it's just because these background vocals are just higher in pitch. Does that make sense? Okay, start maybe right on that last line again that you were just on somewhere in there, and then keep going, because there was something else in the song.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah, instead of just stacking her. Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2. I took away. Sorry. You were right. Sorry. Can we start? Yeah. I know the children exactly. I know.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. I know that you're an actor, so act like a stand-up guy. Whatever devil's inside you, don't let him out tonight. I tell them it's just your culture, and everyone rolls their eyes. Yeah, I know.
So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle back to another comment that I made. This is a great moment for it. A lot of those backgrounds, I'm realizing what it is that's not working so well. All the notes are right, but you're not committing to one vowel, one note per chord. So there's a lot of sliding and moving around, which if you have the solo would sound great because that's just like an inflection, right? But if you don't have the solo, it just sounds like noise in the background. Does that make sense? It kind of just confuses the sound. So on all those chords, it's ooh, whoa, and you can swell, ooh, ooh, whoa, without the ooh, all that stuff you don't need. Does that make sense? This is going to clean it up, so try that again. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. I know that you're an actor, so act like a stand-up guy. Whatever devil's inside you, don't let him out tonight. I tell them it's just your
Get a little
culture,
closer.
and
Yeah.
everyone rolls their eyes. Yeah, I know. Oh,
There you
please,
go.
please, please, don't prove I'm right. And please, 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 don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better to me. Do you guys hear it or feel it? Okay, great. Now here's the other thing. You got 2 hands. One's got a mic and the other one should express, I think, okay? This is where you get to be a little more free as artists, because right now it's a little too, please, please, okay? And I think you're pleading, right? Please, please, please. So you can do that however you want. You don't have to be super, this isn't your show choir moment. That's a different time, obviously. But I just think you could have a little more freedom in your body with that. Otherwise, we start to feel and sound stiff. Yeah? Okay, good. Just start right on that chorus. Please, please. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Please, please, please,
Can you
don't
use your hands?
prove I'm right. Oh, and please, please, don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice. Heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I beg you don't embarrass me like the others. I have a fun idea, babe. Maybe we'll stay inside.
Okay,
I
nice,
know
good,
you-
good. Yeah, much better, nice. Okay, now when you have the do's, I've said this to almost every group because this is a very common problem, so don't feel bad. Make sure they're D's, not T's. Yeah, because if you go to the toot, 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 it just sounds like darts, okay? But we actually want toot, 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 toot. Otherwise, those T's get in the way and that just creates noise, yeah? So the D, that will help. And then the other thing is short-term memory loss. What was it? Oh, when you're doing the, oh shoot, what was that line before? Go from the chorus again. There was one other thing I wanted to say and I just totally forgot it. And focus on that. That all the, or no, don't go to the chorus, go to the part where the do's come in. I don't know what that is.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have a fun idea. I know you're craving some fresh air, but the ceiling fan is so nice, and we can live so happily. If no one knows that you're with me, I'm just kidding. But really, 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 if you wanna go and be stupid, don't do it in front of me. If you don't wanna cry to my music, don't make me hate you,
Yeah, okay, nice. On the make me hate you, I think that's a moment where you could pull back. One thing that I wrote is it's kind of all the same volume. You guys hear that? I think we could use more of pulling back. You know, make me na 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 na. I think moments like that would really add to it. Otherwise, it starts to all kind of sound the same. Yeah? Can you try that real quick?
Make me hate you, please, 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 please,
Okay, cool, nice. And I think because this is lower in your voice, I would get closer. Yeah, we always want to hear you loudest. Nice, much better. Thank you for playing with this. And then the other thing is on the last chord, we're just losing some of the integrity of the tone. I'm hearing it close in the back, right? So a hum doesn't mean there's no openness in the back. It just means there's no openness in the front, right? So you have You hear it? So you still want to think of a more choral tone. Otherwise, that chord kind of gets clampy. Does that make sense? Can you just try just that last chord?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, the tone was good. Yeah. Now, let's just get the pitches right. Yeah. Try that again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I see. And that one part goes, na, na. It moves at the end. Is that what it does?
Well, it's supposed to, I think it's me, because it's supposed to be like crunchy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're on the 7. Da. Okay, cool. So try that again. Can you take that on an ooh real quick and go ooh? And I want you to feel the lift in that space.
1, 2, 3.
Good. Now with the same exact space, just close your lips and do a hum.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. You guys hear that? That's the right hum. Otherwise it's all breathy and clampy. That was the right one. Yeah, that should feel good. Okay, is that helpful? I feel like I've gone for 3 hours. Is that okay? I could keep talking, but they're probably getting bored of me. Oh, okay. Great. We got time. Anything else? Okay, so again, just kind of general comments, right? I think you have such strong voices, you have to know when to use them at their fullest and when to use them at half. And I think that's a general thing. You know, there's 7 of you, and you sound so strong in the fortes. I just want more of the pianos. I want more moments where I want to lean in and be like, ooh, like I wonder what's next, as opposed to, oh, they're singing again, right? So let's do this. Take the second song, start there again, and I want you to focus in this song on really having more dynamic contrast, so the pianos are real pianos. Okay? Let's try that. nice. Yeah, personally, that makes the failure much more interesting, right? Because you're going somewhere, and then boom, that's the climax of that phrase. Personally, I would clean up the ah vowel on the dies. There's way too much diphthong. Die, die. And the problem with that is that we're all doing them at different times. So someone's going, die, and someone's going, die. And then so you're just hearing, ay, over and over again. So can you all think, die, 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 die? Just a little cleaner one vowel, right? Try that again from the top.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you guys hear it? That's way cleaner to me. Otherwise, there's too much noise. That's all there is to it. Okay, good. Do it again so that it's locked in, and this time keep going.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Every move I make is right. Where I go, do I know? Will I be alone on Saturday night? And I worry, what if I stand out one bit? I worry, what can I possibly do? Wondering what the world will say. Make a plan, hey, be a man, hey. All this stupid drama
Yeah, nice, good. I think just generally throughout, making sure all of those diphthongs, all of those, you know what I mean by that, right? Going from one vowel to the next, that it just stays really pure. Because there's a tendency, especially in pop music, just because there's kind of so much of it, and it's fine if you're a soloist, but when you're singing it in a group, there's a tendency to just do too many of those. And then out here again, it sounds like noise. Who's bass and who's tenor? Your bass and your tenor? Baritone tenor? Okay, got it. So, yeah, I could use more you just right there, yeah. Do, 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 do. And for you especially, if you do the T instead of the D, it's gonna sound kind of funny. Do, 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 yeah. Yeah, so do, 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 do. Yeah, so I would do more of a do and less of a t. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. Great, well, I don't have anything else to say. So I'm done. You guys are good. Yeah, nice job. Please give it up for Hart.